Okay, welcome back from break, everyone. I'd love to see how people are using their coloring pages. Does anyone have a page they'd like to share on camera? We just hold it up to the camera. Here's mine. Mine's, oops. You can sort of see it. I only had I meant to bring more colors with me, but I kept forgetting and I only have my blue highlighter, so that's the only color I have here. But anyone else? Anyone? I did see somebody put a photo of their coloring page in the photo contest, and I liked seeing that. So I hope you all are using these coloring pages. I think that was actually, was it Alina, in the photo contest who had posted her coloring page that she had very artfully done. Well, I have to say, we have a very artistic next speaker, and we're entering into our last storytelling session of the conference, featuring Amanda Richer. You all learned from Amanda on day one during our mapping session, and she obviously brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the table that you already heard about. But her bio is so impressive that I'm going to read it again to refresh our memories. Amanda is a displacement consultant for One Health Clinic in Seattle, King County. Her commitments include being a community liaison for the unhoused and for nonprofits contracted through the Seattle Department of Neighborhoods. She is also the vice chair of the Consumer Review Panel for Seattle Public Utilities, the co-founder of Shelterapp, among many other roles with advocacy and nonprofit groups. Amanda is also an amazing photographer and artist. She provides supplies for those providers giving outreach and leverages her lived experience of homelessness to advocate and educate on vulnerability, displacement, human rights, and the interconnectedness of our world and experiences. Amanda found the companionship of her dog while living in a homeless encampment. She is now housed and shares her home with many animals. So welcome, Amanda. Thank you for being here. And to begin, we're just going to start with a video of Amanda.
Amanda,
Yes.
you're homeless here in Seattle.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Seattle's beautiful. What do you want to know?
How do you survive out here? You're living under a bridge.
I try to remember that for as many negatives there are, that there must be that many positives. And so I keep looking at the positives and I keep trying to remember that there are beautiful colors and that I'm saving my life and that's what matters. And it doesn't matter where I live and it doesn't matter any of it, just so long that I'm alive and that I'm making a difference in this world, because no one's going to stop that. I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to save my life and hopefully do good in the lives of others.
Yeah. Sorry. When I listen to that, I'm thinking in my head, I got you, girl. I got her. I know what she was going through. And like all of my younger selves, the things that that woman wanted me, I'm doing. And we're safe. And we're okay. And we're gonna stay that way. When I was a little girl, I spent a lot of time moving from place to place. And a lot of time being utterly terrified of the adults in my life. My mother was a heroin addict. She lost custody of us and left when I was 3. My father got custody of us. He's deceased now, was a diagnosed sociopath who raped and beat his children. We went into foster care when I was 8. I ran away from the foster care system when I was 15. To survive the kind of trauma that I've been through in my life, you have to dissociate. You can't stay there while those things are happening. And instead of going to a dark place, I chose the sun. I chose what made my cells feel alive. I chose what I believed love and joy and fulfillment would feel like. It would feel like sunshine on my skin. It would feel like hope, like a new day. And so when those things were happening to me, I chose to be in that place where I felt okay. And those were those points of light. I felt like a throwaway as a child a lot. Even into adulthood, I didn't know how to bring that value back. I tried to hide it so much. I didn't put value and stock into my experiences because I was so ashamed of myself. I'm done being ashamed of who I am, what I am, every little piece of my being. I'm done because I'm not ashamed of any of it, because I had so little control over so much of it, except for making sure that that past person knows that I got her and we're going to have her going forward, right? am meant to be here. I am meant to have this space. I am meant to have this light. And my light is unique and it does something. And so I truly believe that people can see it. They can see me shine and they identify with that shine in themselves. When you allow yourself to be authentic, to be truly who you are meant to be, and you show your soul, right? You allow that to shine through. People identify with that and they want to be there for you and they want to help and they see your worth in a future vision, not just what you are right now, but what you can become. I never could have imagined how absolutely content and just beautiful it is to have a home. To have a home to come to be safe in, to do a little dance, to make a meal, to play with my animals. I've never thought to myself, look at me, look what I've done. It's look what everyone has lifted me up to be able to do. I am a culmination of the kindnesses that have been shown to me, the opportunities that have been presented to me. There were a lot of people that stepped up to offer a hand when they didn't have to, bringing a tear to my eye. Like, you have no idea what your kind act did for me. There are so many kind people in this world. Those are the people that keep us going. Those are the people that in this world, even if they're not getting their name shouted from the roofs, and what they're doing is helping the rest of us hold it together for another minute. They're the glue that holds us together.
If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
Three wishes. I would wish for the strength to continue fighting. I would wish that others could get out of this too. And I'd wish for understanding and compassion for everybody, like just knowledge, I guess. 3 wishes are hard. They're hard not to take for yourself.
I didn't take any for myself because I am everyone. If there is understanding for everyone, there's understanding for me. If people have safety and everyone's safe, I'm also safe. We're never alone. We're all part of this whole. I want everyone to have what they need to thrive in this world. Because I believe if I wish for that, that will heal our world. When people have their needs met, they do better. And that in turn does better for all the beings in our world. So I really only need one wish. I don't need 3. I need one wish. And that wish is, well, I guess, no, the strength to continue, and then to make sure that everyone has what they need to thrive. This world has so much beauty. And I'm excited to see the world every day. Even with all of the pain and the tragedy and the things that are happening that are just absolutely horrific, I know for a fact that if we can interrupt those things, the kind of beauty that this world has, it's hard to even describe. Our world is amazing and beautiful and complicated, and yet has this vibrance. And I think if we can learn how to promote the vibrance and promote the beauty and promote the interconnectedness and our ability to be so much more. So I think what makes us human is our ability to be better. We can look at our behavior, we can look at our thoughts, and we are full of compassion and empathy. And on a human's best day, we can do phenomenal, amazing things. And I put my hope in that.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
So good to see you. You have already started inspiring people in the chat, and
Oh,
we'll make
good.
sure we send a screenshot of this to you so you can see. But that video was so beautifully done because it focuses on you as an individual and your incredible light and your outlook on life. And the fact that homelessness was an experience for you, not the totality of your being. And I think the filmmakers did a great job. And I just want to give credit that that was not a My Dog is My Home produced film, whereas the other storytelling videos were. This one was produced by Reflections of Life, and Creative Allies is going to drop the link to the YouTube video in the chat in case you want to go back to it or check out the filmmakers later on. There are also animals all over this video, and they're clearly such an important part of your life, but they're not talked about explicitly. So I'd love to spend the next however long we have left in this session understanding what role they played and currently still play in your journey in housing and just in life. We do have your in-shot video that you put together for us all queued up and ready to go. So just let us know when you'd like to share that.
Yeah, let's share that now. And then I can talk about how Rowan came into my life and like our experiences together and what it's like now.
Yes, sounds great.
Hi, this here's Rowan, right here. And if you can see her, this girl right here, I just wanted to share with you, she helps take care of me. And she's sleepy right now, because she's had a long day, but she's really wonderful.
Oh, her little gray now. Okay, so as you can tell, she's she's so happy and actually takes really good pictures. I think she's super photogenic.
Oh yeah, she's beautiful, a model really. Somebody put in the chat that Rowan should be our Pup Act representative.
She's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so Rowan was about 6 months old, and I found myself in the same encampment with her. And at the time, I didn't have a pet. I was, of course, the designated morning pileup for all the dogs, and it made me feel so good. They would just all come in the morning and just pile up on my bed, and And so I would have morning snuggles with all the dogs in the encampment. And I loved it. I didn't care that, we were all homeless, a little stinky. It's fine. You know, like whatever. And it healed me in a bit. I felt good when that happened. I felt better. I felt like taking on the world. And so when the opportunity came about, Rowan's owners first asked me to watch her and later on asked me if I would like to take her. There was a lot I had to think about. Number one, I wanted her so bad in my life. Like I just wanted her so bad in my life. Sorry.
Okay.
And but there were concerns, right? I could barely take care of myself. I had all these medical appointments. There was a lot of things going on health wise, and this meant I would have to make sure that she could, get to the vet, that she could have the things she needed, like food and supplies. Where was I going to get a leash? The first time I tried leashing her, I had a teeny little carabiner on my loop, and she pulled right off of that in the morning to go explore. Like that was not good. So I had to figure out ways, and luckily my campmates were able to, by word of mouth, right, get me the information that I needed to be able to make sure that she was going to have what she needed. And we began our journey. And it wasn't easy at first, right? I had some health issues. She was a puppy, 6 months. And if you know anything about labs, they're super hyper. And so I remember the first time she pulled me down a set of stairs. And that was the first time that I actually considered whether this was going to be a good working relationship. Could I physically handle a dog that was going to be high energy? And I looked at her and I was angry, right? Like I'm hurt, my knees are bleeding, I'm upset. And I came towards her and I saw her flinch. And I recognized it, right? I recognized that within myself. And I was like, no, we're going to work this out. We're going to figure out how to be a good working pair. You're little, but I will never. Like we're not going to do that. Right. And we just became a team. Everything we did together. We went to the food bank together. We went to appointments together. Um, when she first started going to my doctor's appointments, right? I had a lot of doctor's appointments and now I have a dog with me. One of the first things that one of my providers noticed is I was having absence seizures, right? And before it happened, Rowan would come closer and start nudging me. And I didn't even realize what was happening, right? I didn't know that she was alerting. I didn't, you don't know when that's coming on. It's just like you click out and you're back again. But the doctor noticed it and wrote me a letter. And this was long before I had even I wasn't getting housing for a while, right? You have to be on waiting lists. It's going to be years. There is no quick route at that time. And this was in 2016, 2017. And so one of the things I had to do was go get infusions, right? So I have a type of arthritis that requires a biologic. And when you live outside, there's no way to refrigerate your medication. And so you can't pick it up. It's got to be mailed right to you. So I had to go into the infusion place, right? And they were very welcoming of Rowan, but I brought her in the first time and they didn't notice. And I had her behind the chair, right? And it was a new nurse. And I was about to ring the thing because I wasn't feeling right. Something was a little off. And Rowan came out from behind the chair and started whining and pushing my hand. And all of a sudden the alarms went off. My blood pressure had dropped. And Rowan had been there as well. She alerted before the machine did, and I just find that so amazing. Some of the other things that were really important while we were out there was I had to be safe, right? So one of the things with traumatic brain injuries and bipolar that you experience is, again, suicidal ideation, right? Wanting to take yourself out. Things are really painful. And homelessness does not help. Man, like literally does not help with any mental state, right? You don't have the ability to, go somewhere to have your emotions. So having a partner there that's willing to sit with you, right? One of our jokes, which is a dark humor joke, was that if you wanted any alone time in Seattle, like in the middle of a city, you just need alone time, sit on the curb and start crying. People will scatter like nobody's business. Just sit on the curb and cry. You will have all the alone time you need in the middle of a city. You know? So
That's
having
that's funny and sad, but yeah. But
you
it's
got to joke about, things from time to time. And, a lot of times it would be our observations, like the saying, between a rock and a hard place. We lived under a bridge. There were literally rocks below us. There is a freeway above us. How more literal can you get than a rock and a hard place? Living examples of that saying. But part of the issue of being outside is it gets cold, right? It gets super, super cold. And I was so scared at first to, because I used to like go in the sleeping bag and then have her blankets. And I was scared to put her in the sleeping bag because I thought she was going to pass away from lack of oxygen. And she started really like being okay. So she wanted to get in the sleeping bag. So I was like, okay, how are we going to work this, right? With a single sleeping bag, a medium-sized dog, and me. And so we would do the thing where like I'd curve my legs and she'd be in behind him, and then we just switch. She saved my life. Like it was cold. I would have frozen to death. I had to wake up several times in the night and just run a torch for minutes near us. Like we were cold.
right.
Being that alert, I used to get really bad headaches and have horrible nightmares. And during those nights, even if it was cold, I'd wake up and she'd be wrapped around my head. And just keeping, like, I could list a million ways in which she saved my life. And so there would have been no option to get housed without her. I wasn't about to leave her. She's with me forever. We are a team. And I have told her that from the beginning. The first time I started like really realizing the issues with her was actually when I started to access homeless services. I really didn't have much of a problem with going places with her, to the grocery store, to shops, to whatever, doctor's appointments. It was when I went to take a shower and I was told, you can't bring that thing in here with you. I thought they meant my backpack. They didn't. They meant my girl, my teammate. And I didn't take that really well, honestly. And we did not get a shower. But that lack of service also meant that we went home and washed ourselves in what would be runoff, a stream that in the middle of a city, right? So that was our options. There, yeah, it was very difficult. And as we ran into those barriers, I just made it very clear that there was no me helping me without helping her, period. But I was very thankful for nonprofits. It came through. Like I remember when she got spayed. It was the most horrible thing. I mean, it was great that she was getting spayed, right? Absolutely wonderful. Took her, and the vets were amazing. But when we hadn't been apart, like ever. From the moment I got her, we weren't apart. And so when she went to the kennel, she started crying. I started crying. They're trying to shut the door. And both of us are just like, she's whining and, doing that. I'm sobbing. And it was just like the worry that I had while she was away from me was insane. But after that, getting housed, she got to pick her toy. Like the first thing I did was go have her pick out her toys from PetSmart. Like she got to go through and just pick whatever she needed. And it's funny because she picked a raccoon, like a long raccoon, and she stays with those. Those are her favorite. Any kind of toy raccoon, she just absolutely loves. But now she has a toy box. She has exercise. She has park play. She has friends that she visits with. She has community. She has her own space. One of her favorite things to do is lay out on the balcony and watch me from the glass. She won't come in, but she'll just watch me. Like it stands, she took care of me then, and she takes care of me now.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you, Amanda, for telling us about Rowan and how how you two came into each other's lives and that whole journey and where you are today. I had a list of questions for you, but you actually answered everything, and all I had to do was sit here and listen to you. So thank you for that. I do have one question for you actually before we take questions from the audience, because I can see some of them are coming through here. So you skipped the shelter part of the process in getting housed, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Went directly from an encampment into permanent housing. Can you tell
Yep.
us a little bit more about what that process was like for you and whether or not Rowan ever became like an obstacle? Was that ever a question? I know you said that you would not accept housing without Rowan, but was whoever was helping you, did they understand that? Like, did it ever become a point of conflict?
It wasn't so much a point of conflict except with landlords, right? So the I'm going to be really honest, it was luck. It was having a good case manager that had her ears open. My case manager was actually from neurology, like fourth floor, so she was a hospital. And honestly, they're not given a lot of they're not kept up to date on a lot of the resources that are out there. And she just was talking with a colleague about how, my case, and they said, "Hey, there's a spot with scattered sites called Plymouth." And so they got a hold of me. She called and they were like, "Hey, yeah, we can get you in. Now you just pick a place." And I'm like, I don't know. There's all these neighborhoods. I want to live in them all. I don't kind of picked by like my street has like cherry blossoms, and every spring it gives like this big burst of hope. And so I kind of chose based on that. Um, and I could walk my dog and things. But that wasn't so much of a barrier, but we really lucked into it. We were on every waiting list. We had done all the paperwork. We just had to survive because I wasn't going to do shelter.
Mhm.
With my particular injuries, it would not have been possible.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I have another question brewing that I'll come back to later. Um, Another question for you. So you're currently a consultant with One Health Clinic. How
Yeah.
did you how did you initially, well, first of all, there's actually another question that precedes that. Let me go back to it. So people have been talking about One Health from time to time during this conference at My Dog is My Home. What is it exactly and why is it important?
Okay. The One Health, One Health Clinic or the One Health concept?
One Health, the concept first.
Okay. Yeah. One Health concept is really identifying the interconnections, right? So it's the understanding that our world is all interconnected. So you are affected by your animals and the environment that you're in just as much as they're affected by you. So it's looking at all of those things as a unit, and looking at, different areas where that intermixes, and if it's disease transmission, if it's psychological health, any of those things, behavior issues, training, um it takes all of those forms, and it's really the understanding of the interconnections, and learning how to adapt or adopt that thinking when putting it into work outside. And we found a lot of success with that, and I think it just kind of, it's common sense, really. Like, if there was a common sense, I don't know that there is, but if there was, it seems like something that, you know, is reasonable.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So you're a consultant with the One Health Clinic in Seattle. What is the One Health Clinic? How did you get exposed and involved with the One Health Clinic?
Okay, so the One Health Clinic is in Seattle. So before, when I was still experiencing homelessness, I would work with Seattle Dogs Homeless Program to, pass out supplies, right? Because I'm right in the community. It made it like super easy. So making sure that other people had what they needed. And the founder of that agency connected me with Vicky Ramirez. And this was probably like 2-3 months after I'd been housed. And so I want to just say a little portion about Vicky. Um, well, we meshed really well, right? Like immediately had a conversation that lasted and lasted and lasted. She is definitely a thinker, but she is also somebody, when I talked in the video about the people that lift you up and the people that keep you going, that's Vicky, right? And as a woman, to have another woman believe in me, to continue to remind me that I'm worth it, that I belong in spaces, all of that, I was immediate, like I'm on board with One Health Clinic. And One Health Clinic works with New Horizons, which is a youth shelter, and they bring healthcare and vet care together to treat the family as a unit. And I think that's so beautiful because in so many situations, we're trying to separate people from the things they need to thrive. And that includes their animals. And it's a recognition as well of we need to be helping these animals thrive as well and keep them. So knowing what's going on the street, the kind of care that they need, how to effectively manage their care while they're homeless. Like all of these things are coming together. I think one of the things that stood out was during COVID, knowing that COVID can be transmitted to dogs and I believe cats, that's a huge deal. And we need to understand those things. And when it comes into the space of like people who are experiencing homelessness, they may be in a congregate shelter. People in encampment might be sharing dishes, things like that.
Mhm. Yes. There's a long list of questions for you in the Q&A, Amanda, but we're actually getting close to the time when we need to end. You're in Hoover, right? Are you able to go in and connect with these folks in Hoover to answer some of their questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to end with one, the one that I am able to ask you in the amount of time that we have left. How has life changed for you since you've been housed with Rowan?
Everything's changed. I'm still disabled, right? That didn't change. But having accessibility to the things I needed, right? Like something as simple as Wi-Fi access, consistent Wi-Fi access to information, being able to watch the news in the morning, being able to have a clean area to eat, right? Having the ability to have a bunch of toys for Rowan that aren't going to get dirty, being able to wash our things with a washer and dryer. Um, Safety, being able to lock that door. Both of us sleep so much deeper. Like Rowan's ridiculous. That girl could sleep through, like, sometimes I have to go and wake her up because her legs will be, and that's not a deep sleep that we got before, right? That's a feeling of safety. That's a feeling of home. I can go to conferences now, not just virtual, but in person, because Rowan has a place like with conferences is very hard because it's a very busy time. So it would be even harder for me to take her to those places because then I'm going to have to, it just it isn't a good place
Mhm.
to have her. But now she has a home where she can be, supervised in with her sisters, the cats, and everybody's together and I can call and video chat. I can Everything changed. Everything. Our health changed. Our beings changed. Everything changed.
Well, I am so glad to hear that you and Rowan and it from the video, it seems like cats, maybe one or two.
I have two, Mischief and Raja. Raja is also known as Beanie Baby Beans, because she is about a third of the size of like a normal cat.
Aw, adorable.
And she is the one that uh, attacks like not attacks, but like plays the hardest, zooms around the house. Like I she is pure kitten even at 2 years old.
Is she the one that's pawing the curtains in the video?
Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
it was actually a photography to try to make softer light,
uh-huh.
and she would not quit. She was trying to pull it down. She thought it was the greatest thing ever. She got into all the equipment, into his camera bag. Like I was just like, I cannot control her, sir. She runs this house. I don't. She's like a pound and a half, and we all listen to her.
Yeah. I think a lot of, yep, Dorit is giving you a heart on Zoom. She's a cat lady too. She can relate. So can I. Well, thank you, Amanda. I'm so glad that you and Rowan and Beanie and I'm sorry, what's the name of your other cat?
Mischief.
Mischief. I'm so glad that all of you have a home to share and that you're all thriving and doing well. And thank you for being here to just participate in the conference. We have a lot to learn from you, and we love seeing that light of yours. And I'm looking forward to the art demo later today too.
Yeah, I hope everybody can show for that. It's going to be really simple. But one thing I think I say a lot is everybody can create. The voice inside our head that tells us we can't is usually connected to trauma. So we're gonna have a little session. It'll be great. It'll be lots of fun.
It is going to be fun. And I'm definitely going to flip my coloring page over and follow along.
Okay.
So everyone, our Q&A session is coming to a close, but I'd like to thank everyone for being engaged. And of course, I'd like to thank Amanda for making herself available to us, not just once, not just twice, but 3 times for our conference. She'll be returning later today, as you just heard, to do an art demo for us. So please tune in for that. Now I'd like to give you all instructions for the small group discussions we're about to enter, which are almost the same as yesterday. So after we close this room, we would like for all of you to click on the next item in the agenda in Whova, which is called Case Study Small Group Discussion. So from there, you'll be placed into a breakout room with a few other people. The small groups are random, so you'll be in discussion with professionals across different geographic areas, professional fields, and roles. And that's the purpose. We want to encourage interdisciplinary conversations, interdisciplinary learning that we can do with each other in this setting, because this is a really unique time and space, right? It's not every day that the animal people and the homeless services people get together, unless you're the One Health Clinic consultant or Vicki Ramirez running the One Health Clinic. So in your small groups, we would like for you all to discuss 2 important questions. Can you identify the systems and systemic barriers that were involved in Amanda's case? And what kind of resources would you be able to call in to assist both human and animal? Where might your organization fit in, or collaborate to fit in, or grow to fit in to fill those gaps? So when you click the agenda item in Whova, the case study questions are listed there as well, so you don't have to memorize them. You all have 30 minutes to discuss, and this is what's different from yesterday. Once you're done with your small group discussions, we will then be on break for 30 minutes, so you don't have that time pressure to end right at the half hour. You can go long if you want to, although we encourage everyone to take their break. Have a great discussion and a great break, and see you all back in our main room at 3:30 p.m. Wait a minute, that's not right. See you all yes, it is right. See you all at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time.